Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So I got a new deck profile for you guys today. This time it's on my own pure Thunder Dragon deck. So yes, I finally managed to build this deck. The rest of my orders came yesterday, and I finally put it all together. So yeah, I went through like the deck to see like which cards I wanted to play, what I felt like was the best way to play this deck. So yeah, figured I'd go and share with you guys what I got. All right. So it's 40 cards in the main deck. So starting off, of course, with the Thunder Dragons, playing 3 Roar, just because if this card is banished or sent from field to the grave, you can special summon one of your Thunder Dragons from your deck. Also, if you discard this card, you get to add one of your banished Thunder Dragons or the ones in your grave back to your hand. Now, keep in mind you can only use, and this is pretty much the same for any one of the Thunder Dragons, you can only use one of their effects once per turn and only once that turn. So that means you can only choose one or the other. So depending on like what your hand looks like, you're just gonna have to like think through like which cards you want to use for the hand effects, which ones you want to use for their banishment effects, or the graveyard effects if you send them from field to grave. Next, 3 Dark. This card searches itself out by discarding it, or if it's banished, you can add any one of your Thunder Dragon cards from your deck to your hand. So it's a searcher of itself or any other your cards depending on how you use it. 3 Hawk. It's the Monster Reborn or Magical Malik. Just like I said, depends on which of the effects you decide to use. So yeah, the only card that isn't once per turn is this one, the OG Thunder Dragon. Discard itself to add up to 2 copies of itself. So usually the way I like to do it is discard one, search out the other, discard it again, search out the other. Most people often search out both. I like to go with one at a time because it gives you more Thunder Dragons in the grave. So, and the more resources you can build up, the better. And plus, they're recyclables with Thunder Dragon Fusion, so that's why. 3 Matrix. If this, you can discard this card to give your Thunder Dragons 500 extra attack points. Well, Thunder monsters rather. And if it's sent from field to grave, you can add 1 copy of itself. So, or if it's banished too. So, just another way to keep adding your Thunder Dragon monsters. And the last for the Thunder Dragons, 2 Duo. Pretty good card. It's a good way to add pressure to your opponent. So yeah, and the fact it's just chaos summoning is pretty good. So you can also trigger off the banishment effects of the other Thunder Dragons, but if you hadn't used them already. So yeah, Duo definitely a great card. Next, 3 Batterymen. Solar, it's kind of a pseudo Thunder Dragon. If a Thunder monster is summoned, you could just special summon a token, which then you could just keep going on. You can go into some Summer Summoner or even Thunder Dragon Colossus if you need to. So definitely a busted card. I really like it. 2 Aloof Lupine next. I'm thinking about running this at 3 now because this card's actually just really strong. But I think 2 is actually perfectly fine in my opinion. I've tried it out at 3. At times I open up with 2 and it can be a dead card. So that's why I'm thinking like, you know what? No, never mind. 2 is just fine. So again, it's just like, it depends on how much more time I want to experiment with this deck. But this is basically just your second and third copy of Gold Star because it's at 1 right now. So that's the only reason why I'm running it. So yeah. And it's just a good way to trigger off banishment effects. So the Aloof Lupine, definitely not a bad choice. For hand traps, playing 3 Ash Blossom, you know, the most generic one. And the only deck that can actually get away with playing this at 3, Dimension Shifter. It can be used offensively and defensively. Defensively, because, you know, you can cancel out all hand traps. Offensively, you basically just cripple the Orcust or Salamangreat strategies. Just discard this during, you know, if you're going second. And yeah, you basically shut down those decks because they can't use their graveyard effects whatsoever. Any card that gets sent to the grave is banished instead. So basically, this is like a 2-turn macrocosmo. And the reason why this deck can get away with this is because the deck gets benefits from banishment. So D Shifter, really nasty card. I really like this card. Everyone should be playing this. And if you open up with 2, it's not a bad thing because you could always just get rid of it later, which I'll show you in just a moment. With this card, 3 Allure Darkness. Since it is a dark monster, you could just banish it, and yeah, that way. Because the only problem with D Shifter is that you can only use it if you have no cards in grave. So, like I said, definitely a great card going second. Or if you're going first, if you want to just avoid hand traps at all costs, just dump that. Next, 3 Instant Fusion. You know, just to get cards like Thousand Eyes Restrict or Kiminari Attack. Even Mud Dragon in the Swamp is very handy. So, Instant Fusion. It's got a lot of possibilities with it. 2 Thunder Dragon Fusion. Only 2 because I don't really want to see this too often. I just rather search it out. But it's a good way to recycle any of your banished Thunder Dragons, shuffle them back into your deck, and summon out like cards like Colossus or Titan. And right now Titan's like really good in this format. So yeah. Last of the spells, 1 Gold Star since it is at 1. And for traps, I'm only running 3. I'm playing 3 Dino-Miscus. This card's just really good right now, especially in Thunder Dragons. And especially because like it's a good way to out like certain floodgates or monsters that just keep you from playing the game, like Inspector Border. You know, Dracos, they spring that on you. You can't really play until you get a fusion monster out. So you play this, get rid of that Inspector Border, it's gone. Get rid of cards like Imperial Order or Floodgates, like there can only be one. Dino-Miscus just outs those boards. So yeah, definitely something you should consider. Alright, so moving on to the extra deck. Of course, you know, since it is Thunder Dragons, got to play 3 copies of Thunder Dragon Colossus. Real easy to summon. You just need 2 Thunder Dragons, or you could use, or you could just tribute a Thunder monster to special summon itself. So Colossus is definitely broken. It's basically a one-sided mistake. So Thunder Dragon Colossus, definitely got to play this at 3. Next to Titan. Just anytime you activate a Thunder Dragon card from your hand, you get to pop 1 card for free. So definitely a great card. And this one's not once per turn. And also, they both have the added protection where you can banish a Thunder monster. Well, Thunder Dragon Colossus banishes 1 Thunder monster. Thunder Dragon Titan banishes 2. So, yeah. Alright, so for my instant fusion targets, as I mentioned earlier, got 1 Kiminari attack, 1000 Eyes Restrict, and Mud Dragon of the Swamp. And I do set out Super Poly, so I'm also running Star Venom Fusion Dragon. The only sea monster I'm running is Hope Harbinger. I do bring it out every now and then. It's not too often. But, you know, I'm thinking about cutting it just because, you know, I don't see it often enough. For links, I got some Summer Summoner, Wee Witch's Apprentice, Link Karibo, since, you know, we do have a couple level 1s, Nightmare Unicorn, which I'm actually thinking one of the reasons why I want to get rid of that Hope Harbinger, just run Nightmare Phoenix, but Unicorn's just fine, you know, it's non-destructive removal. And then lastly, 1 BLS Soldier of Chaos. I know this card's super expensive right now, so if you already have one, good for you. If you don't have it, just, you know, run any other generic Link 4 if you have it, like Borolo Dragon or something like that. It's a good substitute. Or even Avermax, you know, Avermax ain't a bad choice. Alright, so for the side deck, I'm running 3 Nibiru, since, you know, this deck can be prone to it, but if you're going second, you know, it doesn't even matter. But, yeah, if you play it safely, you know, pure Thunder Dragons are capable of playing this game safely, so Nibiru is something to definitely take advantage of and something you don't have to fear too often. So as long as you don't overextend, you should be just fine. 3 Denko Sekka. You know, this deck does have problems with back row heavy decks, so Denko Sekka is just another way to defend yourself from that. As well as Twin Twisters, you know, why not? To break boards, Super Polys I mentioned, Pendulums, you know, are definitely top tier right now, so definitely want to make full use of this. And then, of course, Red Reboot. Like I said, back row heavy decks is the one type of decks that really hurt this deck, so got to protect yourself from those as best as you can. So that's why I decided to go with that. Well, that's all I got for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will catch you guys again next time.